Hello everyone, Ali Sky here. So I just finished watching the HSR 3.2 livestream, and yep, they announced the global passive for Castoris. I know a lot of people have been talking about it. I chose to remain silent until now, not because I support it, but simply to respect that it is leaks territory and I want to keep this channel leak free. Not everyone consumes leaks and it shouldn't be forced onto others. So what do I think about it? It's bad, for sure. Promotes FOMO if you don't pull for Castoris. But will it kill the game? End of service? No, I don't think so. Let me explain why. Because in China, these types of pay-to-win stuff is what they want. While you look at us English speakers trying to zero cycle with E0 S0 characters, super relatable F to P team, Hurtle and Hanskill for the first half zero cycle. CN people on Bilibili, they're zero cycling with E6 characters. Relics that look like super godlike, 4 to 5 rules, they are the norm in CN. Is it cause they are all lucky? No. It's because they refresh to go to the absolute min-max. They are competitive. As a Chinese myself, I can tell you this is true. So I'm sure you have some concerns, and I can address them. What if other gachas copy Hoyoverse since they are number 1 right now? Sure, but ask yourself this, can they afford to do that while not being as big as Hoyoverse? You know the outrage that will happen from the non-CN communities. As the smaller game, they will need to take into account their player base more seriously. This is why a game like Wuthering Waves listen really well, and really good too. Honestly, Wuthering Waves is such a good game. As the smaller game, they need to listen in order to one-up their bigger competition. I'm sure we can agree on this. Who's to say if the roles were reversed? Would they still listen? We would never know. We can threaten to quit, call it a bad game, review dump, Google Classroom, but let's be real, nothing is going to change. Basically because we are the voice of the Western community. I'm not Western CC obviously, but we all know that Hoyoverse really only listens to China. So no matter how much we complain, it's not going to change. And it's not going to end of service. Because we, the English speaking community, is not part of their main market. F to Ps are going to lose out if they don't pull the character with the global passive. Well, this global passive from Castoris is just a revive. It's not going to change anything. The fact that you care about it means you play the endgame, and if you're worried about revives, then may I present you the most powerful button in Memory of Chaos, Pure Fiction, and Apocalyptic Shadow. And I'm pretty sure it's even in Simulated Universe now. It's called the Restart Challenge button. Let's see. Oh, I forgot to skill! Right, I can press this button. And probably look up guides or showcases on how to play better. But what if they add more powerful ones in the future? Won't they make this as a basis for future HP inflation? FOMO strikes again. Okay, let me tell you why they will most likely not do it. Firstly, right, so far, it's locked to a limited character. They most likely will not tailor the endgame based on you having the global passive on a limited character forever. They might do it on release just to show it, but they're not going to do it forever. Like, you see your Firefly, you think Super Break lasted forever? No. Did Fei Xiao last forever? No. Like, they still work, but they're not shield anymore. That doesn't mean that they won't tailor it, of course, like permanently. It's just more unlikely that they will do it. Because realistically speaking, right, not everybody is going to pull for that character, correct? And has the increased difficulty really stopped most endgame players that are actually serious about clearing the endgame? As long as you build your characters properly, even if they are not meta, you can still clear the endgame. My free-to-play account literally 3-star PF without a single limited edition, and I have been doing it for a long time. This is not a flex, this is just to prove a point that even if you don't have the meta characters, you can still beat the game. If you're not doing any of these, then you're clearly not ready for the endgame. If you expect to clear with subpar relics, I'm talking about not even trying at all. Like, for example, your relics are on the wrong main stat, you're not even on set, you don't even have the correct substats. Like, I don't expect you to have double crit and then roll 3 to 4 to 5 rolls. Like, even one line of crit, right, I would say is something, because RNG is a thing. Or if you have unleveled characters, tracers and light cones, because you simply can't be bothered, and you think that maybe this is Genshin Impact, I don't have to level them, then you are in no position to complain that a global passive is causing the endgame to be unbeatable. I'm willing to help people who can't clear the endgame, but you must at least put in effort into building your characters. And if I can't do it, I know someone else who can. It's locked to a limited character. Well, newsflash, a limited character can be free if you play the game to earn the currency yourself. Unless you are never pulling at all and only playing with 4 stars, then that is a you problem, because you set that restriction to yourself. Lastly, what if the future ones are more powerful? Like maybe, +1 to your basic, +1 to your out, +1 to your skill. Well, so far, there is no indication that global passive stack yet, do they? They didn't announce in the live stream. Even in the Forbidden Land, I don't think they did. Kinda premature doom boasting, I would say. And even if they do, then more characters are having them, no? If every other new character gets it, then it's nothing special anymore. There's also no confirmation that every character might get a global passive one day. We can't see the future. And since they gave us Ranmi and Luocha for free, who's to say that in the future, Casteries won't be free? They will all get power crap one day, and the passive wouldn't even matter. As for me, I am not quitting. I genuinely love Staryu and enjoy it. The combat, the story, and all. You can call me a Hoyo Shield, it's fine. If I had to make a choice, I wouldn't want the global passive either. What I'm trying to point out here is, it is not as terrible as you might think it is. But just because it's in the game, doesn't mean I automatically must hate the entire game. At that point, it's just overreaction. There's more to everyone's game enjoyment than whether there's a global passive that works in the endgame or not. It's the same way with skipping characters. For example, you can say that Aglaia is bad, she's incomplete, she needs E1, she needs Sunday, needs
2 hours later,
so on and so forth. And even if you're right, people who pulled for her have a different reason for pulling. You can say they brick their account, or what, but that's your thinking. Not everyone plays the same. Maybe they like the character, that's the only reason they play the game. That's fine, there's nothing wrong with that. This brings me to the next point. The amount of casuals in this game are far greater than the amount of people who actually play the endgame. This is not going to bother them. They're not going to care if the global passive allows them to deal more damage. They only care if their waifu or their husbando looks hot. Let's be real. Most people are here just to play the story and collect their favorite characters. Even if you think that that is stupid, that is your opinion. You are entitled to it, of course. We turn to video games to relax and escape the reality of life. Everyone has their own means of enjoyment. Some people like to do difficult content. Some people just like to take it easy and just use the auto button. Nobody is wrong. Play the game how you like to play. Just because you hate waffles does not mean that everyone else has to. Just because you can't see any good left in waffles does not mean everyone who likes waffles is stupid. We all have different tastes. And I like waffles, of course. That's all I have to say on this topic. I know this video might get a bit of backlash, if it even gets seen by anyone or even watched until this point, that far in. But I gotta be honest here. Simply disliking a change doesn't make me want to. That's all.